All right. So we were learning about this one. We learned about this algorithm and this. We were learning about this vanishing gradient or diminished gradient, generator diminished gradient. Gradient. The generator in GAN we have a generator and discriminator. Therefore, there is a possibility that this generator gradient will diminish. Diminish means will become low and low and low, so low that they don't contribute in the learning process. Okay. So it is easier to distinguish the generated images from real images in early training. As the generator and discriminator learns more and more details about the images, their characteristics and features, it gets quite difficult to distinguish between real and fake images. Whereas in the early uh, stages of training, it's quite easy to uh, identify the images. All right, and then that makes this approach negative, means towards zero. Yeah, that this implies to zero. And then the gradient for the generator will vanish, which make the gradient descent optimization slow. Therefore, the GAN provides an alternative function to backpropagate the gradient. This is the alternative function to backpropagate, means learn through backpropagation. If you observe here it is 1 minus dg. This is z I, z to I, to 0. It means this when this gets to 0, change that to, it should not be 1 minus, should be log of dg zi, z to I. If you change this to this one, then this problem, diminishing gradient problem, would be resolved. This is all about GAN. The next topic is multitask deep learning. This is an article on multitask learning in deep neural networks. What is multitask learning? It is giving the neural network several tasks, and it tries to learn various tasks instead of just a single task. Look at here, this is task A, B, and C. These are the constraint layers, and these tasks A, B, C, these are multiple tasks. Multiple tasks given to deep neural network. In this article, these are the topics that will be covered. What introduction? What is machine learning? We know that machine learning is making computers to learn by itself with its experience. That is machine learning. So machine learning will optimize uh, certain metric. Machine learning can improve the accuracy, from say 55% to 95% learning. Um, Businesses also get help from this machine learning, and businesses can also improve its performance. Key performance indicators of business. Uh, this machine learning will try to improve. And in order to do this, when we in a single model or an ensemble model to perform our desired task, later we fine tune and tweak these models until their performance no longer increases. Right? After 95%, if further training steps does not increase this, it will be 95 or it may go down to 94. In that scenario, training process stop. And there is a focus on the single task. And then this information comes from training signals of related tasks. Essentially, what happens is by sharing the representations between related tasks, we can enable our model to generalize better on our original task. This approach is known as multitask learning. Multitask learning is sharing the representations between the related tasks. Apparently, it helps model to generalize better on the original task, and this approach is called as multitask learning. And it is quite useful in image recognition, computer vision, drug discovery. MTL comes in many guises, means you have MTL immediate as joint learning, learning to learn, learning with auxiliary tasks. These are some names that are used to refer to this multitask learning. And here, optimizing more than one loss function also helps in effectively doing multitask learning, in contrast to single task learning. In those scenarios, it helps to think about what you are trying to do explicitly in terms of MTL. Means this means that optimizing more than one loss function. You have got cross entropy loss, you have log loss, different types of loss methods are available. When you try to optimize many loss functions, optimize in the sense you try to reduce the loss. When you try to reduce the loss, several loss functions, effectively it makes multitask learning efficient. Typically, only one loss function will be optimized. And there are chances that auxiliary tasks help you improve your main task. Sometimes what happens is your primary task is cross entropy loss to decrease the cross entropy loss. In that process, if you go for log loss decreasing, this can make this cross entropy loss better. All right, so you can link them up. MTL improves generalization by leveraging the domain-specific information contained in the training signals of related tasks. Whenever you are trying to study for your exams, what you do is the related questions you study before other topics. Questions such as here what happens is, for example, in you have images of rivers, images of mountains, images of other sceneries, scenes. What you can do is you can learn um, all these images. These all come under sceneries, and in if there is a new scenery, okay, which is related to this scenery, but which is also different from this, that can be effectively uh, identified by using this MTL, multitask learning, because multitask learning, MTL has learned several images. So now it is able to identify any other related image. All right, we'll look at the motivation. Motivation in the sense that why this multitask learning is required in the first place. Multitask learning is inspired by human learning. How human learns? Humans can recognize faces, human can recognize objects, and humans learns the tasks that provide the necessary skill to master more complex techniques. For instance, falling in martial arts, judo, as much as learning to program. If you learn you master two martial arts, and third one will almost be similar to the previous two. You don't have to spend more and more time. You have to spend more time. Third time, more or less. As you go on mastering one thing, the other thing which is related to the first thing can be mastered in less time. So that applies to the model learning as well. All right. Then there is this example. Um, we can view multitask learning as a form of inductive transfer. Inductive transfer helps to improve the model by introducing inductive bias, which cause model to prefer some hypothesis over others. And inductive bias is L1 regularization. There is inductive bias. There is a concept which actually is used in multitask learning, which will make this model learn about the general things. And this inductive bias is provided by the auxiliary task. Auxiliary task means the other tasks which are related to the primary task. There are two MTL methods for deep learning. Here, hard or soft parameter sharing. Multitask learning is typically done with either hard or soft parameter sharing. Hard parameter sharing means this is commonly used approach to MTL in neural networks. and it is generally applied by sharing hidden layers in all tasks. These hidden layers are shared between these three tasks. Instead of having three different hidden layers, like this, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. This is for task A, this is for task B, this is for task C. These are different hidden layers for different tasks. However, in hard parameter sharing, there is only one set of uh, hidden layers which are shared among all the tasks. And hard parameter sharing greatly reduces the risk of overfitting. This risk of overfitting the shared parameter in the order n. So when the advantage of using hard parameter is that it does not have overfitting problem. Soft parameter sharing. In this soft parameter sharing, each task has its own model with its own parameters, and the distance between the parameters of the models is regularized, and it uses L2 regularization. You see here, this task A, task B, task C, three will have three different, like this does not have. Here, the same thing. This one, it has three different. The constraint used for soft parameter sharing deep network has been greatly inspired by regularization technique. And soft parameter, it allows to have every task its own set of parameters. How does MTL work and why it works? Even though this inductive bias obtained through multitask learning to be possible, in order to understand MTL, there is the need to understand the mechanism and the light. And the whole idea is here, there is a common hidden layer representation of multiple tasks A and B, and this A and B rely on this common hidden layer representation. And what is this data augmentation? Augmentation means augment means increase. If you have the data which is you know uh, which is less uh, which is less when compared to the actual data required for deep learning training, then what can be done? If there is an image, this image you can create several other images by augmentation, by using different techniques like flipping, rotation. What happens in that is, you just flip this image, get a new image. You rotate the image, get a new image. Excuse me, 1 minute. Hello? Hello? हाँ हाँ,
Yes, ma'am.
होते रहो गई. अच्छा. Okay, so here we are learning augmentation, flip, rotation. These are different techniques to create a new version of an image. Okay. This is about the image augmentation. So all the tasks, when you are training a model on some task A, we need to learn representing good representation for A that should ignore data dependent noise and generalize well. A model that learns two tasks simultaneously is able to learn more general representation. If you learn two or three martial arts, different types, then you get to know about the general uh, details of this martial arts. There will be some differences, but generally there will be uh, common points, common methods. There should be a common process that will be applied in all the three. Right? So when you learn more things, you will get to know general things. And then that is about this one, this attention focusing. This model can focus its attention on those features that actually matter, and other features it can just ignore. What is eavesdropping? There are some features that are easy to learn for some task B, and at the same time it is quite difficult for another task A. So this might either be because A interacts with the features in a more complex way, or because the features are repeating. And the model's ability to learn G's features, set of features. Through MTL, we can allow the model to eavesdrop. Eavesdropping means learning G through task B, because it is quite easy to learn the features on task B. So therefore, the network will eavesdrop. Eavesdrop means learn the set of features G through B, not A. Apparently, because it's difficult to learn A. And what is representation bias? This representation bias, when it prefer representations that other tasks also prefer. MTL biases the model to prefer representation. Suppose the teacher likes one student in the class very much, student A, B, C, D. What they say that teacher is biased. Is it not? Therefore, here that same method is, documented here, stating that MTL bias the model to prefer representation that other tasks also prefer. And this will help the model to generalize to new tasks in the future as a hypothesis states. All right, that performs well for a sufficiently large number of training tasks. So when the MTL prefers one model, here there is a slight variation. It is that teacher likes A and all the other students also likes A. All right. In this representation bias context, everyone likes A. And when everyone likes A and the model learns A, then everyone models can learn about every other data. Regularization, MTL acts as a regularizer by introducing an inductive bias, and it reduces the risk of overfitting. MTL in non-neural model, this we will learn tomorrow. Okay. Do you have any doubts? Okay, Rachana, you stay back. I'm stopping the recording.